The other day, a client asked me whether they should be using different tests for different candidates at different levels. Fundamentally the same role, which is an interesting question. In principle, no. In principle, you can use the same assessment. So when we use assessments, providers typically offer different comparison groups if they're needed. So for example, with a personality questionnaire, for example, if we're looking at graduates and if we're looking at senior managers, the behavioral demands of those roles can be quite different, realistically. One role is entry level. It's just individual contribution. Very much focused on learning and development. That's a different behavioral profile to a senior manager, for example, where they have a great deal of managerial responsibility. It just requires different things. That being said, personality is still likely to be important in both roles. So you'd still use the same assessment, but you would benchmark differently. Similarly, when using ability tests, verbal reasoning, for example, a graduate needs verbal reasoning. They need to be able to work with information that is written or spoken. It's key. And a senior manager needs to work with information that is written and spoken. It's still really important. Ultimately, the level doesn't really impact the assessment choice necessarily, as long as the assessments that you have are sufficiently general that can be used at any level. The benchmarking may change, however. That's how you would adjust for the different levels. So unless the roles are radically different, call for very different things that can't be measured in the same assessment, yeah, you'd use the same assessment.